A Gynecologist Guide for Women Over 60. 4 milks to eliminate and 4 beneficial alternatives. If you are a woman navigating life beyond your 60s and find yourself habitually reaching for a glass of milk each morning, holding on to the belief that it provides the same strength and comfort it did during your younger years, then I must share something of critical importance with you. The unvarnished truth is that not every type of milk remains your ally after the profound hormonal shifts of menopause. Certain varieties can, in fact, quietly contribute to the weakening of your bones, the inflammation of your joints, an increased strain on your heart, and can even begin to cloud your cognitive clarity. I recognize that this information may come as a shock. For many decades, milk has been championed in advertising as the ultimate emblem of health, the foundational key to developing strong bones and ensuring lasting vitality. What was seldom disclosed, however, is that after the age of 60, your body undergoes significant metabolic and physiological changes. The very milk that you once implicitly trusted could now be an obstacle, slowing you down. This is a pattern I have observed time and again throughout my 30 years of practice as a gynecologist. One of my patients, a retired school teacher in her late 60s, sat across from my desk with a look of deep puzzlement on her face. She expressed, "Dr. Stones, I am at a loss. I have consistently had my morning cereal with milk, precisely as my mother always did, but now I find myself feeling weaker, more perpetually tired, and my joints ache relentlessly every single morning." Another woman, a loving grandmother in her 70s, whispered to me with a trace of embarrassment, "I genuinely thought I was doing everything correctly for my health, yet I am still experiencing a decline in my energy and my ability to focus." It is precisely because of stories like these that I feel compelled to speak with you today. What is currently residing in your refrigerator may be more than just an innocuous lifelong habit. It could very well be one of the most silent thieves of your physical strength, your mental energy, and your intellectual clarity. So, here is what we are going to uncover together. We will identify the 4 specific types of milk that women over 60 should conscientiously avoid, and then we will explore 4 powerful and nourishing alternatives that can genuinely protect your cardiovascular, fortify your skeletal structure, sharpen your memory, and help soothe your hormonal system. These are not merely trendy fads, they are scientifically supported, practical choices that I have personally witnessed transform the health and well-being of women in my clinical practice. Before we delve into the details, allow me to briefly introduce myself. I am Dr. Lily Stones. For more than 3 decades, I have had the distinct privilege of guiding women through the unique and often challenging changes that manifest after menopause, empowering them not just to live longer, but to live with greater strength, sharper minds, and more profound joy. Today, my goal is to extend that same level of dedicated care to you. So please stay with me, because the first milk we are about to expose might very well be the one that is currently sitting in your refrigerator. But before we proceed, if you find this type of health information valuable, please take a moment to subscribe and activate the notification bell. Let's begin with the first milk that insidiously works against your well-being: whole milk. For many women, this beverage is not just a drink, it is a repository of memories. I can vividly recall my own mother at our breakfast table, pouring a tall, cool glass and asserting, "This will make you strong." And for a growing child, perhaps it did. But for a woman over the age of 60, the narrative fundamentally shifts. A single cup of whole milk contains more than 4 grams of saturated fat. While that number may not sound excessively high, as our arteries naturally lose some of their elasticity with age and our metabolism decelerates, that fat accumulates rapidly. Saturated fat is known to elevate LDL, or bad cholesterol, which quietly contributes to the thickening of your arterial walls and places an additional burden on a heart that already requires more careful consideration after menopause. Furthermore, those extra calories, nearly 150 in just 1 glass, do not simply vanish. They often find a new home around your waistline, place stress on your joints, and can disrupt your blood sugar levels. One woman I care for, Linda, proudly told me, "Dr. Stones, I avoid all junk food. I just have my cereal with milk every morning." She could not fathom why her energy levels were plummeting and her blood pressure was steadily climbing. The truth was resting right there in her glass. Now let's discuss another milk that might seem innocent but is anything but: sweetened condensed milk. For some, it is deeply intertwined with cherished family traditions, celebratory holiday desserts, or a creamy addition to a cup of coffee, recipes passed down through generations from mothers and grandmothers. That sweetness evokes a sense of nostalgia and comfort. However, what it orchestrates inside your body is far from comforting. Just a single spoonful delivers a substantial dose of sugar, and let's be candid, almost no one stops at just 1 spoonful. That sticky, sweet drizzle causes your blood sugar to spike and crash like a roller coaster, compelling your pancreas to work in overdrive and potentially paving the road toward diabetes. And sugar does not only accumulate on your waist, it also settles in your brain. Diets high in sugar have been shown to accelerate memory decline and have even been linked to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. Some neuroscientists now refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. If you have ever experienced mental fogginess, lost your train of thought mid-sentence, or struggled to recall a familiar name, do not be so quick to blame your age. At times, the problem is on your plate or in your cup. I once had a patient, Gloria, who adored the taste of condensed milk in her coffee. She viewed it as a small, harmless indulgence, but once she eliminated it from her diet, both her blood sugar levels and her energy began to stabilize within a matter of weeks. And here is another fact many women do not realize: sugar is a primary driver of inflammation. Inflammation is what makes your joints ache. It pilfers your energy and disrupts your hormones in ways that create a ripple effect throughout your entire body. So while condensed milk might bring to mind feelings of warmth and family, it is quietly robbing you of your strength and clarity. Now, if you found those revelations troubling, wait until you hear about our next subject. This one often wears a healthy label. It is plant-based. It is light in texture. It sounds like the most prudent choice in the grocery aisle. But lurking beneath that serene, gentle image is a concealed danger that could be insidiously weakening your bones and placing a strain on your kidneys. So you never miss a tip designed specifically for women over 60, and please let me know in the comments, have you ever paused to wonder whether your daily glass of milk is truly helping or potentially hurting you? If the answer is yes, type the number 1, if not, type the number 0. I personally read every comment, and your valuable feedback is what shapes these important conversations. Alright, let's get started. Here is the truth about milk after 60 that most women never hear from their doctors. The third milk I want to caution you about is rice milk. On the surface it appears utterly innocent, plant-based, light, and frequently marketed as a gentle alternative for individuals with sensitive stomachs. I have even had patients proudly inform me, Dr. Stones, I switched over to rice milk because it just sounded healthier. And at first glance, who could possibly blame them? But here lies the problem. Rice milk is composed almost entirely of starch and water. A single cup provides almost no protein, virtually no healthy fats, and a very minimal amount of vitamins. For women navigating life after 60, this presents a genuine issue. Your muscles naturally undergo a process of strength loss with age, a condition known as sarcopenia. Without an adequate intake of protein, that loss accelerates, leaving you feeling weaker, less steady on your feet, and potentially more reliant on others. But there is something else hiding in rice milk as well. Rice as a plant is known to absorb arsenic from the soil it is grown in, and when it is processed into a liquid milk, that arsenic does not simply disappear. Over time, consistent consumption can quietly place a strain on your kidneys and liver. I have personally reviewed blood test results from women who consumed rice milk daily and observed their kidney function numbers gradually creeping up, even though they reported feeling perfectly fine. And then there is the matter of blood sugar. Rice milk possesses one of the highest glycemic indexes of any milk alternative. It causes your blood sugar to spike almost as rapidly as a can of soda. If you are currently managing pre-diabetes or diabetes, drinking it is akin to pouring fuel on a fire. Those energy crashes you experience, that mid-morning fatigue, the feelings of irritability, it may not be your age, it may be your milk. And as if that were not enough, rice milk offers no dietary fiber and no real support for your digestive system. Some women even discover that it exacerbates issues like bloating and sluggishness. It is a beverage that promises comfort but ultimately delivers very little in terms of real nutrition. That is why I tell my patients, do not be deceived by a soft, appealing label. True health is not found in the packaging, it is rooted in biology. Now let us move on to the final one on our list to avoid, and it may be the one that surprises you the most. Flavored plant-based milks. Vanilla almond, chocolate oat, hazelnut soy, they sound inherently healthy. They are wrapped in marketing terms like fortified and heart smart, and they are undeniably tempting because they taste like a dessert, but that is precisely where the danger lies. Many of these flavored milks conceal anywhere from 10 to 15 grams of added sugar in a single cup. That is an amount comparable to some sodas, and it makes no difference if the label refers to it as cane juice, agave nectar, or fruit syrup. Your body processes all of it in the same detrimental way. Those daily glasses of sweetened milk push up your blood sugar, trigger an inflammatory response, and leave you chasing more energy just to feel normal. Sugar is not the only issue here either. To achieve that thick and creamy texture, manufacturers frequently add gums, emulsifiers, and artificial flavors. While they may make the texture smooth on the palate, they can also irritate your gut lining and disrupt the delicate ecosystem of healthy bacteria that protect your digestion and regulate your hormones. For women navigating the sensitive balance of a postmenopausal body, those additives introduce an extra layer of physiological stress that the body simply does not need. I will never forget one of my patients, Maria, who switched from dairy to a popular chocolate almond milk, genuinely believing she was making the healthier choice. She was so proud of her decision, but instead of feeling better, she found herself feeling more exhausted. Her joints ached, and her blood sugar levels climbed. The problem was not that she chose a plant-based option, it was that she chose a dessert cleverly disguised as a health food. So let's briefly recap the 4 to avoid: whole milk, sweetened condensed milk, rice milk, and flavored plant-based milks. These are 4 everyday choices that appear innocent, even comforting, but are quietly undermining your heart, your bones, your hormones, and your energy. But here is the hopeful part of our conversation. Not all milk is detrimental. In fact, there are wonderful alternatives that can truly nourish your body, protect your mind, and even help to restore your strength. And in just a moment I will reveal 4 of the most powerful milks that women over 60 can confidently add to their daily routine, choices that are backed by solid science and have been proven effective in real life. Now that we have uncovered the 4 milks that can silently drain your energy and compromise your health, let's flip the narrative, because here is the empowering truth: not all milk is the enemy. Some varieties can in fact become your daily allies, actively strengthening your bones, calming your digestive system, sharpening your memory, and helping to balance your hormones. Allow me to walk you through 4 of the best choices I consistently recommend for women over the age of 60. The first is fermented soy milk. I am aware that the word soy can evoke mixed feelings. Some women have been led to believe it is dangerous, while others assume it is exclusively for vegans. But here is what the scientific evidence actually shows us. Fermented soy is entirely different from its unfermented counterpart. Unlike regular soy milk, the fermentation process makes the nutrients more bioavailable and easier to absorb, while also adding natural probiotics that soothe digestion. More importantly, fermented soy contains plant-based compounds known as isoflavones. These compounds act as gentle helpers for your hormones, providing support for bone density and even helping to ease the discomfort of hot flashes. One of my patients, Carol, aged 67, began drinking a glass of it daily. Within just a few weeks, she reported to me, "Dr. Stones, I feel so much steadier on my feet, and I am finally sleeping through the entire night." That is the quiet yet profound change that fermented soy can bring: support for your muscles, your bones, and your overall peace of mind. Second, let's discuss unsweetened almond milk. At first glance it seems so simple, almost too plain to be considered powerful. But sometimes the most uncomplicated foods are the most supportive. Almond milk is naturally low in saturated fat, completely cholesterol-free, and rich in vitamin E, a potent antioxidant that helps protect your brain cells from age-related oxidative damage. I often think of Eleonora, a retired teacher in her 70s who made the switch from a sweetened oat milk to plain, unsweetened almond milk. Within weeks, her blood pressure readings improved, her energy felt more consistent, and she told me, "I feel lighter, both in my body and in my mind." By deliberately choosing the unsweetened version, you also successfully avoid hidden sugars, which is key to keeping your blood sugar stable and your energy levels even throughout the day. The third exceptional option is calcium-fortified oat milk. This one is particularly important for women who are concerned about osteoporosis or who experience restless nights. After menopause, the rate of bone loss accelerates dramatically, and fractures can become life-altering events. Fortified oat milk delivers a potent combination of calcium and vitamin D, 2 essential nutrients your body requires to maintain strong bones and reduce your fracture risk. But it also contains beta-glucan, a specific type of soluble fiber known to lower cholesterol and support cardiovascular health. I recommended it to Diane, a 69-year-old patient who frequently struggled with insomnia and woke up with stiff joints in the morning. She began the practice of drinking a warm glass of oat milk before bed. A month later, she smiled and said, "I wake up feeling far less achy, and I am finally getting deeper, more restorative sleep." Sometimes nourishment is not just about the nutritional content, it is about providing a sense of comfort that restores the body. And finally, let us explore flax milk. This one remains a secret for many women, but it may just be one of the most powerful choices available. Flax milk is naturally abundant in omega-3 fatty acids, which are renowned for their ability to reduce inflammation, the hidden culprit behind stiff joints, brain fog, and persistent fatigue. It also contains lignans, which are plant compounds that gently support hormonal balance in the postmenopausal years. My patient Helen, aged 71, was struggling with nagging knee pain and a constant feeling of tiredness. We integrated flax milk into her morning routine. Just 3 weeks later, she told me, "I'm not sure what exactly changed, but my knees don't protest the way they used to, and I feel mentally clearer." That is the kind of quiet healing that the right kind of milk can offer. So, to summarize our healthy alternatives: fermented soy milk for hormones and digestion, unsweetened almond milk for heart and brain health, calcium-fortified oat milk for bones and sleep, and flax milk for inflammation and hormonal balance. These are not passing fads. They are tools, gentle, natural tools that your body can utilize every single day to age with strength, grace, and clarity. And if you have found this information helpful thus far, please take a moment to hit the like button. It lets me know that these conversations are making a difference to you. And do not forget to subscribe so you will not miss the next video. Now stay with me, because I want to share 2 powerful stories of women just like you. Stories that prove these changes are not just theory, but are capable of creating real transformation. And I will also provide you with an analogy that may forever change the way you look at your body. I want to share with you the story of Margaret, a 72-year-old grandmother, who first came to my office feeling utterly defeated. She confided in me, "Dr. Stones, I feel like I'm just slowing down. My knees ache, my memory slips more often, and I simply don't feel like myself anymore." When we took a closer look at her daily habits, I discovered she was relying on rice milk every day, believing it was the gentle choice for her system. In reality, it was providing her with almost no nutrition while quietly stressing her kidneys. Together, we made one small, targeted change. She swapped her daily rice milk for flax milk. 6 weeks later, she returned to my office with tears of joy in her eyes. "I feel lighter," she exclaimed. "I'm walking without that morning pain, and I can actually keep up with my granddaughter at the park again." This was not a miracle, it was her body responding with gratitude to the right kind of nourishment. Another woman, Joan, aged 68, faced a different struggle. She was losing precious sleep and waking up stiff and sore every single morning. Having grown up with the belief that a warm glass of whole milk before bed was the ultimate key to rest, she had clung to that habit for decades. When I gently suggested she try calcium-fortified oat milk instead, she was understandably skeptical. But within a month, she returned with a radiant smile. "I am finally sleeping through the night," she reported, "and when I wake up, my joints aren't screaming at me anymore." One quiet, simple switch brought her both the rest she craved and the relief she needed. See, your body is very much like a garden. In your 20s and 30s, that garden flourishes almost effortlessly. The soil is rich and fertile, the flowers bloom vibrantly, and even if you occasionally forget to water it, it still seems to thrive. But after the age of 60, the soil of that garden becomes more delicate. Weeds in the form of inflammation, bone loss, and hormone imbalances start to creep in more easily. If you continue to pour the wrong kind of water on this garden, those weeds will eventually take over. But when you begin to feed the garden with the right nutrients, the right kind of water in the form of supportive foods and drinks, it begins to blossom once again. The flowers may be different from the ones that bloomed before, but they can be just as beautiful, full of life, and vibrant with color. That is why I always tell my patients that aging is not about an inevitable decline. It is about learning how to tend to your garden differently. The choices you make each morning, the glass you pour, the foods you select, are the sunlight and the rain for that precious garden. With proper care, it does not wither, it blooms. So, if Margaret can reclaim her strength and Joan can restore her sleep, then so can you. Because this stage of life is not about giving up, it is about giving yourself the right tools to truly thrive. And in just a moment, I will pull everything together for you. I will recap the key lessons and share one final message that I believe every woman over 60 deserves to hear. So let's take a moment to bring everything together. Today, you have learned that not every milk is your friend after the age of 6. Whole milk, sweetened condensed milk, rice milk, and flavored plant-based milks may seem harmless, even comforting, but they can quietly inflict damage on your heart, your joints, your blood sugar, and even your memory. But here is the truly hopeful part: you do not need to give up milk altogether. In fact, by making the right swaps, you can provide your body with powerful support every single day. Fermented soy milk can help balance your hormones and protect your bones. Unsweetened almond milk can defend your heart and sharpen your mind. Calcium-fortified oat milk can strengthen your skeleton and soothe you into a better night's sleep. And flax milk can calm inflammation, ease your joints, and bring back a sense of mental clarity. Savor it is, these are not complicated, overwhelming changes. They are small, practical steps that you can begin to take right now. Swap out 1 glass of the wrong milk for one of the right ones, commit to it for 1 week, then pause and notice how you feel. Do you have more energy, less stiffness, sharper focus? Your body will tell you what it needs, you simply need to start listening. And please remember this, growing older does not have to mean growing weaker, it means growing wiser. Every conscious choice you make is a message to your body that says, I still care for you, I am still actively investing in my future. And those small daily choices compound over time to create years of vitality, independence, and joy. So, here is my personal challenge for you tomorrow morning. When you reach into your refrigerator, ask yourself this question: is this glass of milk serving the woman I am today, or is it merely serving the habits of my past? If this video has inspired you, please take a moment right now to like it. This lets me know that this message truly mattered. Subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss the next tip designed especially for women over 60. And please, share this with a friend, a sister, or another woman you care about. Sometimes one simple conversation has the power to change a life. Finally, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Just type, I'm making the switch if you are ready to choose one better milk starting today, because your story matters not just to me but to every single woman in this community who is walking this journey alongside you. You are not too old to change. In fact, you are at just the right age to finally choose what will truly help you flourish. And that journey begins with what you pour into your glass each morning. Savor it is. And before we close, let me remind you that this video is for educational purposes only. It does not replace professional medical advice. Every woman's body is unique. If you are experiencing pain, significant changes, or have personal health concerns, please consult with your healthcare provider. Your well-being deserves personalized and expert care.